storytelling, getting in the head. So, what we need to do is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a comic like with you right on stage. So what we need to do first is we have to figure out the story. So, this could be as simple as a little pun, a little joke. It could be as complicated as like a character arc, like following the journey of someone. I don't think we're going to do that this time because I only have so much time that probably wouldn't work out. So, I think we should do a little funny joke. Does anyone have any ideas for a joke we could do?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why did the chicken cross the road? Ooh, that's solid. But based off of the most accepted answer for that joke, I don't know if we could, if I could put that in comic form, because to get to the other side, you know. So, how about this one? There's a 4-H'er, and he's doing a chicken show, and the judge asks him, "What breed is your chicken?" And before the kid can answer, the chicken yells out, "Leghorn!" And the kid looks at the chicken, looks at the judge, and says, "Well, what he said." So, how about we do that?
That sounds great.
That sounds great? Alright. So, what we have to do first is we have to plot out how we'll do this. We could tell this story in like 5 pages of panels documenting every little tiny movement. But in my experience with comics, less is more. Especially with wording, because you could say for the punchline, "Well, what he said." That sums it up in, well, what he said, 4 words. You could have said it in, "Well, I do believe that what he proclaimed would have been an adequate answer to your question." That wouldn't really work for a comic, would it? Generally, less is more. So one of the more common ways to plot it out is just really quickly penciling it out. So my idea is for a 3-panel comic. One in which the judge asks a question, the second in which the chicken screams out the answer, and the third with the punchline. So, I just draw 3 really quick boxes, and then I show, let's say, the kid, and for this, you can just draw stick figures, because you're not going to show this to anyone. This is just so you can get a general idea of how you're going to do your final product. So here's a kid, here's a little table, here's the chicken, not sure how we're going to draw the chicken yet. Here's the judge, and let's say they have a little clipboard that's like where they're getting all their questions from. And then this one, you have the chicken, like, here's the chicken, screaming out the answer, bam. And then you have the same setup as before, with the kid, the chicken, and the judge. And then whatever they say. So does that look like it would be a feasible comic? Yeah. So that's how we know what we're going to draw. Now that we have a general idea of how our final product is going to look, now we can focus on the characters. Well, actually, before we get on to the characters, I mean, we already know what the judges and the people and the chicken are going to say. What breed, Leghorn, what he said. So, now that we have that done, we move on to characters, character and object design. So, the thing about comics is you're telling a story. So, all you really need is for the characters to be recognizable, for it to be clear what they are. You don't have to have Leonardo da Vinci level art. You don't have to be like drawing in all the little tiny details. You don't have to have like perfect faces. You can just have a stick figure with a little smiley face. That can be a character. And then if you want to differentiate it from another character, you could do a stick figure with glasses. You could do one with a hat. Anything that distinguishes your characters from one another and makes it clear what they are. So for the 4-H'er, what I'm wearing right now is general 4-H attire for a chicken show. White shirt, white button-up shirt, black pants. So for the 4-H'er, we can do their head, since we're only going to be seeing them in the side view based off of the outline we drew. Since we're only going to see them in the side view, I'm just going to do its head, like that. So just the eye and the mouth. This makes it super easy because all you have to do is worry about one eye, one mouth. Don't worry, have to worry about anything. And then up next, let's say an arm. And this is just how I draw people. You can draw them any way you like, as long as they look like people. And they don't even have to look like people. For a long time, when I was in like 4th grade, I would draw these little guys, and I called them square dudes. I drew them on every single little piece of note paper that I had. Every single time I was in class, I would just be scribbling these little guys, telling little stories. But anyways, so here's our 4-H'er, and then you give them little black pants. And then for the judge, once again, little side view head, and then let's say they have their clipboard, so here's our arm, holding their clipboard, and then their body, and then, in my experience, chicken and rabbit judges generally have aprons on. So let's give them an apron. So, little line across their belly to show that it's wrapped around, no line coming down here to show that they have an apron. And then for the chicken, I wasn't really sure how I was going to draw the chicken before, but now I'm starting to have an idea. I could do this little circle with the eyes and the comb and the feet. That doesn't really look like a chicken though, right? It could be mistaken for any type of bird. It could be being mistaken for an egg with a really weirdly drawn smiley face. So, therein lies why you're doing this. You can make mistakes here. You can do whatever you would like. You are just trying to figure out what you'll make them look like so it can be consistent. So since we're going to do a chicken, I guess I can do like a little head, and then back here, little beak, comb, eye. That seems better for a chicken, right? Yeah. So let's go that. So here's our judge, here's our 4-H'er, and here's our chicken. So now that we have our character done, our characters, now that we have our storyline planned out, it's time to make the comic. Since it's on stage, I am only really going to be going over one panel of it because it will be hard for me to try and fully fill out 3 panels while up here. So, firstly, for this, what you're going to need is both a pencil and a marker. This can be a Sharpie, it can just be a pen. There are many different options. Or you could even just do it in pencil. It's all up to you. That's the big thing about comics. It's all just about telling a story. So, what you can do is you can take a straight edge and line out. What I'm using is this piece of wood. And line out your panel. And this is not the best piece of wood for keeping things straight. But, here's a panel. So, let's say we do the first panel, right? Where we're setting it up. Something that I've learned over time is that with words, it can be really hard to fit a word in a small space, especially if you don't plan it out. If you see on my poster, you can see the very end of comics is kind of squished in there a bit. Yeah, it doesn't look great. And that's why you need to plan out your words. So, what I always do is I always write my words before I draw the characters. So for this one, what was the first line? It's, what is the breed of your chicken? So before I do any of the characters, I write in, what is the breed of your chicken? What is the breed of your chicken? So now that I have the words, now I can make the characters fit into this space. So once again, we have our 4-H'er with his arms. Actually, how about we have his arms behind his back? Because I know that when I'm at the chicken table, I'm always with my hands back here. Maybe I'm messing with the chicken to make it look really nice, but most of the time I have my hands back here. So, I put my hands back here, put in a little hand, and then finish them off, a little smile. And then table with the chicken, bam bam, chicken, and the judge. And the reason that I'm using a pencil is because it has this beautiful thing on the end that's pink and is called an eraser. Because if I accidentally do, oh my god, I can just erase it and it's gone. If I had done this with a pen, then I would have to throw away this whole piece of paper and start over. But I'm not going to erase it all because I don't want to be standing up here for too long. Just so. Judge, and apron, and bam. So now, what's something that we're missing on this comic? Usually, with words that someone's saying, you kind of need a speech bubble. Something to indicate that who is saying these words. Because the chicken could be saying it, the table could be saying it, someone off the edge of the panel could be saying it. So, firstly, with the expression, we make it clear who's saying it. We have someone with an open mouth. And then we have the speech bubble. So what I always do is I start off by doing the tail end, pointing to the mouth or just somewhere on the character. And then a great trick with speech bubbles is that you don't have to draw the entire speech bubble. What you can do is if your words are relatively close to the side of the panel, you can just do this, and boom. You don't have, there are a lot of shortcuts you can do while making a comic, and that is one of them. So, once you have it all fleshed out, you know where your characters are, you know where your words are, then you take a pen to it, and you trace over what you have. So like,
I might give you a couple minutes more.
Don't worry, I'm almost done. So, really all you're doing with this step is that you're tracing what you've drawn, and then after that, you erase. Now I'm going to be standing up here, tracing this one panel for the rest of this time. So, since I already had this planned out, I've already completed the comic on this side. So here, you have, what breed is your chicken? Leghorn! What he said. So, and that is the process of how to make a comic. You don't have to be that incredible at art to do it. All you have to do is you have to have a story, you have to have recognizable characters, and boom, you have a comic. My sources were my own experience as well as several children's books, including Tom Engelberger's Origami Yoda, which have taught me how to do this over years. I would also like to credit Hergé and The Adventures of Tintin for getting me into comics in the first place. Those were incredible books. Are there any questions?
What about adding color?
What about adding color? Color can be an interesting thing for comics. It's all about what you would like to do. Personally, I like to keep my comics black and white, but you can always scan it. If you have a phone, you can use, there are plenty of scanner apps out there. You can scan it and then put it into like a online drawing tool to color it and give it that nice even color. Or you can even just go at it with colored pencils. Once again, it's all up to you how you tell that story. Are there any other questions? Yes?
In starting out with this, do you need to be an artist to create these comics?
Not at all. Do you need to be an artist? you need to be an artist to create these comics. You do not. All you have to do is have a story, an idea, and then this can help flesh it out. Are there any other questions? If not, that concludes my demonstration. Oh,
Do you see yourself continuing this in the future?
do I see myself continuing this in the future? I would definitely like to. I do practice like comic art, doing stuff like that. I have a couple pieces in the Frank still life bar, as well as a couple throughout here. See if I can find a half piece of wood on the wrong side. Riddler, Superman, Thor, some little like figure drawings of torsos. Yeah, I would like to continue doing this, but whatever doors open up for me. Are there any more questions? If not, then that concludes my demonstration.